Welcome to the deep dive.
Good to be here.
Today we're jumping straight into BlackRock's crypto ETFs, specifically how they did in the first quarter of 2025.
Right. We're looking at some numbers, trying to make sense of them.
Yeah, the goal is really to understand how these investments are holding up, especially with, all the recession talk and tariff uncertainty floating around.
A tricky backdrop for sure.
Definitely. So let's dig into what the data actually shows us.
Okay, so the big number, the headline figure, is that BlackRock's crypto ETFs pulled in about $3.35 billion in inflows. That's for Q1 2025.
3.35 billion. Okay, that sounds pretty huge.
It's a significant chunk of change, yeah.
But hang on, I remember seeing this figure represents what, an 83% decrease from the quarter before? From Q4 2024? That seems like a massive drop-off.
It is, yeah. That 83% dip, it sounds dramatic, and it is a big slowdown.
So what's the story there? Just cooling off after a hot period?
Pretty much. It likely shows, a broader market cooling after maybe a more speculative rush towards the end of last year.
Okay, that makes sense.
But here's the really interesting part. Even with that huge decrease, even with less money flowing into crypto ETFs overall, BlackRock still got the biggest share of the positive flows. They led the pack.
Ah, okay. So less pie overall, but BlackRock got the biggest slice of what was left.
Exactly. It suggests there's still this, maybe a more committed group of investors choosing BlackRock, even when the general tide is going out of it.
Right. Maybe the more cautious money, perhaps. They still like crypto exposure, but they want it through a name they know, like BlackRock. And maybe just to clarify for listeners, an ETF, this crypto ETF, is basically like buying a stock that tracks crypto prices.
Right.
You don't hold the coins directly.
Precisely. It's an easier on-ramp for many investors.
Gotcha.
And connecting this back to the really big picture, we need perspective here, even with these billions flowing in. BlackRock's crypto holdings are still tiny, relatively speaking. It's less than 0.5%, 0.5% of their total assets under management.
Wow. Less than 0.5%. And their total AUM is what, over 11 trillion?
$11.6 trillion, yeah. So these billions, while significant for the crypto space, are just a drop in the bucket for BlackRock overall.
That really puts the scale of institutional crypto investment into perspective, doesn't it? It's still early days in that sense.
Very much so.
Okay, so this concentration then, inflows slowing down overall, but still favoring BlackRock. What does that really signal, especially with the market jitters, the tariff stuff?
That's the key question, isn't it?
Is it just a flight to quality, people getting nervous and running to the biggest, most established player?
That's definitely a strong possibility. In uncertain times, investors often prefer, large, reputable institutions. BlackRock certainly fits that bill. It feels safer to some.
Makes sense. Less perceived risk.
Or it could also be something about BlackRock's specific ETF products. Maybe their structure, fees, accessibility. Maybe something there is just more appealing right now.
Or a mix of both, probably.
Most likely, yes. Combination of factors. Reputation, product specifics, market sentiment. It all plays a part.
Okay, so let's try and summarize this for everyone listening. Key takeaway seems to be Q1 saw a big drop in crypto ETF inflows compared to late last year.
A significant cool down, yeah.
But despite that, and despite the wobbly economic climate, BlackRock's offerings actually attracted the most capital within that specific sector. They were the leader.
That's right. They dominated the inflows that did happen.
And crucially, we need to remember the scale. These crypto assets are still a very, very small piece of BlackRock's massive overall portfolio.
Absolutely vital context. It shows where institutional adoption is right now growing, yes, but still quite niche in the grand scheme of things for giants like BlackRock.
Which leads us to the final thought for you, the listener. Looking at these numbers, this trend, what does it suggest about the longer-term path for institutional money flowing into crypto? And with players like BlackRock clearly establishing a strong position, how will these major institutions continue to shape, the future of crypto investing? Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.